Hello and welcome to the ICA Chirocast. I'm Dr. Brant Hulsebus, and I've been tasked with reaching out to various ICA members and of course leaders in our profession to tell you what's going on in the world of chiropractic and the ICA. And I was just recently in Boston, Massachusetts, where I got to go to Chiro Congress, and I got to sit down and meet Dr. Sherry McAllister in person, and we had a great time out there. That was quite an event. I think, would you like to say hello and hi to everybody?
Absolutely. It's such a pleasure to be with you, Brant. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so it was a fun event. We got to actually meet each other in person. I think you're one of the few people I got to meet in person prior to recording, which is a lot more fun. But talk to me a little bit. I first heard your name from one of my mentors, Dan Murphy. I was at a Dan Murphy seminar 10 years ago, and he said, "Everybody, I want you to donate one adjustment a month to this Foundation for Chiropractic Progress." For those people who don't know, you want to tell us a little bit what that is?
Absolutely would. And that is such a nice story. And thank you to Dan. You know, Dan Murphy is a legend in and of itself, is being able to really coordinate the education for so many chiropractors around the world is pretty outstanding. So that is such a compliment. The Foundation for Chiropractic Progress, born through the reality we need to engage those misinformed or ill-informed and to actually get the word of science and the research out, that we needed a platform to reach the media. And over the course of many, many years, it has grown into now we have 12 global ambassadors, 48 state associations, 21 colleges that support us. And I kind of now think that if you're not with the Foundation for Chiropractic Progress, I question what exactly you're doing, because we support you, and the output becomes, are you supporting your profession and building the future? Because that's exactly what the foundation is meant to do. It brings everyone under the umbrella. It showcases the important benefits of chiropractic care. And we're also looking at trying to generate a future of potential new students, because we also realize that a lot of us are looking to retire in the next 10, 20, and 30 years, and we need to replace ourselves. And we love this profession. I hope you do. I hope this has been one of the choices that you've made that has really changed everything for you, as it has for me. And I just want to see our profession grow with the beauty and grace that the other professions are growing with.
Awesome. Thanks for all your work. It's been fun. I'm part of the Pro Hockey Chiropractic Society too. I know Alan Palmer has this involved with you also, which is a lot of fun. He's a fun guy also. So, but recently you've done something also pretty cool. Coming out with a really great book here, Forbes on the Forbes list and everything else. I got to read your book on my way to Boston. Tell us about this book. Tell us what inspires you to write this, and tell us a little bit about what was your passion behind this.
So the truth of the matter is, having crossed the United States back and forth, I listened to every chiropractor I could listen to. And I've been very, very fortunate to be able to be at 48 state associations, or close to, plus around the world with listening to others. And one of the things that became really, really important is I recognized where we were different, but then I recognized how much we were the same, and that the statistics are not moving in our favor, especially when it comes to the number of students coming into chiropractic. But also, the last 15 years, the needle hasn't moved a lot, and we're still seeing a small minority of patients. And I really wanted to work with all of the leadership and the media to say, if they knew what we knew, they would do what we do. And that statement could not be more important now, especially after we've gone through an opioid epidemic and we've also gone through COVID. And, isolation is a critical issue even today, even coming out of COVID. And grief and depression and anxiety is rampant. And we're seeing that in all different generations, and it comes out in various forms. So the opening for us is now, when we saw the switch in politics, we saw an opening with someone who is actually looking at health and not disease. And I think we got very fortunate. But I always say that I have a fantastic mentor who would say, luck is 90% perspiration, 10% inspiration. And I think that's really, we got very, very fortunate in picking a brand that is globally known, highly recognized, and fairly level-headed when it comes to the political tipping points. It doesn't try really hard to go too far to the right or too far to the left. And we needed a big brother, a global brand, to really start pushing the envelope. Because one thing I've noticed is when you can get into the media, and it's not very often and it's very rare. In fact, even just talking and calling out Newsweek like 2 years ago, it was all bad. It was very rarely good news. When we were in Newsweek, the phone would ring, the emails would come in. I get lots of text messages. Did you see what they convicted us of? I'm like, yeah, I know. And then I would go and clean up on aisle 9. But the impetus of Adjusted Reality is really to showcase who we are. It's the why see a chiropractor with a brand that will level up for us and come with us on this journey, because it's really hard when a global brand allows you to get your message out, allows you to be in their magazine, allows you to be part of the conversations, and then a brand comes along and says, no, those guys are quacks. It's the change in what has happened in the last 4 weeks is mind-blowing, because I've been in this seat for 9 years. It'll be 10 years in January. It's mind-blowing what has happened for our profession.
You know, we had here in Illinois, we recently had a chiropractor commit some pretty bad crimes. And it was all over social media. And I thought, oh, here comes the comments. Here comes all the bad stuff. And I clicked on it. And even though I don't want to by any means say anything what this guy did is anything good. But the comments underneath was like, I love my chiropractor. My chiropractor would never do something like that. This is a rare cat. Nobody would ever do something like that. My chiropractor is fantastic. And I think, 2 years ago, there have just been horrible things about chiropractors. So I see it when you're talking about even in more areas because of the work that you guys have done and the things you've done. It's spreading and it's incredible. But I got to tell you, when I was reading your book, I was excited because I have a program here where I mentor high school kids through junior college into chiropractic school. And I thought to myself, as I'm reading it, the whole time, like, the students have got to read this book if they want to get the big picture. And then how do I get the students to do this? Then I get near the back chapters, and all of a sudden, I see that you've got a total thing there set up for the students, which is incredible.
Oh, I'm so glad that you said that and you brought that chapter out, because when I sat with all of the global writers and all of the people that it's a collective wisdom book. It's not just this is one writer. This is really a collective opportunity for us. And what I realized really quickly was the beauty of having people come together to give their side, their perspective, their wisdom in getting that last chapter written, which is called Revitalizement. And it really is that moment. And if you get to read the book, you'll understand the difference between thunder and lightning. And that's where I think chiropractic is. It's such a beautiful lifestyle. It's not you punch a clock. There's not a chiropractor listening right now that goes, oh yeah, I punch in at 9 and I punch out at 5, because we've never done that. Because when you enter this profession, you enter with your heart, your hands, and your mind. And everything you do has a chiropractic reality to it. Everything. Like even when my son said to me, Mom, I was reading your book, I laughed, and I said, what was the message that you took away? And his quote was, I'm going to die on this mountain if I don't live. And I laughed because that's kind of how chiropractic really looks at life. It's we see things differently than the normal person. Like if we're looking at, for example, a pastry, most of the chiropractic community be like, oh no, we're not going to do that because it does X, Y, and Z. And that's part of who we are in our DNA. We monitor, we assess, and then we deliver on, preaching to the choir by doing. And it's really about doing that I think makes the difference.
My father's a chiropractor, and I have all daughters, and they always wondered why Grandpa had to give them cards. I said, I love you with all my brain, because everything he does is a chiropractor. Everything he is chiropractic. He's an old chiropractic warrior, and it's kind of hard to explain to the 5-year-old why Grandpa doesn't love you with all of his heart, but he loves you with all of his brain. But once they get it, now they're older, they totally get it. So, Yeah, I love that message. And we were talking a little bit before, and you just had some pretty exciting news to tell me, like literally right before we got together. You want to share that news with
Did.
everybody?
I am so excited to say this because it actually happened just a few short hours ago. It's a dream come true moment. And I can feel, just even thinking about it, I can feel the tears in my eyes. But I will share with you that one of my greatest loving beings in my life in chiropractic, and that passion and love that comes with chiropractic, was Dr. Jerry Clum. He was a graceful man. He was such a gentle giant. He was so busy doing what is right and just that he never thought about what was in it for me. And that's, I wanted to live my life like Dr. Jerry Clum. It's not about me, it's about the patient, it's about the profession, it's about the future, always thinking about everyone else so that we can make the future bright. And him and I sat down, and when I first started, which was, it'll now be 10 years in January, and we said, what would the future look like that would be bright and bold and beautiful? And both of us came up with the final comment, and I'll never forget it because we were sitting at the Black Bear Diner, and he looked over to me and he goes, "The future's bright when people talk about us and they talk for us, and they do it in a very large venue." And him and I at the time, granted this is 9 years ago, we're thinking about, 60 Minutes, or it would be something like the Today Show. And but something happened that was really beautiful today. And I'm in awe because this is the first time we've gotten into the magazine called Forbes. And not only did we get into the magazine, the article couldn't be more beautiful. It's called Wellness Stacking on the Uptick, 4 Tips to Ensure You Stay Healthy. I posted on my Instagram and my Facebook. It's written by a PhD. And the PhD went on to talk about what does it look like when you're starting to go into stacking your wellness habits. And he brought in some of my comments, which, when you talk to journalists, you're hoping that they get the message. And you have to be very carefully crafted because one word could throw everything off. And so you're really pulling for them to hear you. This journalist not only heard me, but he did the most beautiful article that really just shocked me. Oftentimes, they won't even talk about you being a chiropractor, which was forever one of those most frustrating pieces. The last month, I've had 2 TV segments where they've used Dr. Sherry McAllister, chiropractor, and author of, which is mind blowing because 9 years of fighting that, it never happened. And all of a sudden, in the last 4 weeks, here comes a PhD who's really talking about how to look at healthcare. And here's a quote: "The experiences, traumas, and injuries we face are all very different, and therefore we benefit from having a healthcare provider to walk with us on this journey. And that journey is a chiropractor." And that, I mean, I wish everybody could have been on aisle 9 when I'm cleaning up all of the ugly that I have to deal with on a regular, because most of my day 9 years ago was just putting out ugly flames and misinformation and lies and just pure unfortunate dishonesty. And today I woke up to something that I will say that Dr. Jerry and Clem and I would be dancing today, being able to celebrate such a beautiful moment that this profession is now ready to stand up and be courageous and have that courage to tell the patient, we are here with you, we are here for you, and we are 100% all about you. And that is why we are strong, we are healthy, and we want you to belong in a health care model.
Amazing, incredible. That's huge news to me, and that's just congratulations. Job well done. And I know it's never ending job, but job well done.
Well, I tell you, as much as when you say a job well done, I think it's all of us coming together. Like that's, if everyone could celebrate these moments and reflect on what it means to educate the masses, like that's the first time we could educate the masses. It's hundreds of millions of people, and it's someone talking for us. Like, because we did everything we could. We stood on our head, we twirled. Hey, look at me, let me talk. And this is someone talking for us. It's a moment we can all celebrate together, because when we wrote Adjusted Reality, and I say we because it's a foundation book, and it carries through the honest integrity of our profession and talks about the history before, what happened to us before, but it leads with the generational opportunity for coming into this profession, is that we celebrate these moments together because we know we're winning, and we're winning in a big way, which is we're going to change healthcare. And that is going to happen faster than we've ever seen possible. It took 130 years to climb this mountain, and we're so close to the peak that the momentum is just going to pick up like crazy.
Yeah, just think about how hard it is for me to change one or two patients' opinion of what healthcare is, let alone millions of people. And it's a great struggle. It's been something that's our people before us started for us, and I'm glad that we're able to pick it up and run with it, and especially the work your group does. Now, if I want to learn more about the Foundation for Chiropractic Progress, how would I go about doing that?
You can go to our website, and that is a beautiful place to start. It's f4cp.org. And just like you did, Dr. Hulsebus, is you picked up the book, then you saw the vision. You saw what we're really trying to do. We need this book to go here, there, and everywhere. It needs to have a momentum. And I can tell you with 100% certainty, I have never, ever, ever seen momentum in chiropractic like this. We not only have the masses picking us up, which has never happened, but we're starting to get principals of schools, high schools, that have reached out to a chiropractor who gave the book to the principal, and he's like, how do we teach this in our school? And then I have you who, like, you're flipping through going, hey, the students need to know this. And all of a sudden at the back of the book is like, holy cow, we can build the future together. Every chiropractor can go get their book bundle. Every one. I need every single one of us to get a book out. I don't care where it goes. It goes to your great grandmother, your aunt, your uncle, your son. I gave it to my nephews at Thanksgiving, and without solicitation, he posted it on his Instagram and said, this book changed my life. I did not ask for that endorsement, but when you see a 20-year-old be changed like that enough that they took action and they posted it on their own Instagram feed, that's amazing moment. I think every chiropractor out there, 10-book bundle is only $149. It's Christmas coming up. There's holidays coming up. What gift can you give that's better than this? I mean, educating them, even if it's your staff, you bought 5 books and you have 5 staff members, give them, there is a famous quote in the book, and it's by Socrates, and I love it. It's called, contentment is natural wealth. Luxury is artificial poverty. And I think we need to get into the contentment space so that every patient understands that health is wealth, and then everything changes from there. So come on this journey with me. Hashtag I'm adjusted. Do everything you can to get it on Instagram. Go to your hairdresser, drop it off there. Wherever you feel inspired to get that book out. Wow, what a future we could have.
Well, I'm a chiropractor for a hockey team, and I know the trainers like to watch me when I adjust the players. And I walked into the locker room more than one unannounced and watched them trying to copy what I do. And I think I'm gonna require the trainers to read this so they actually know what I do is so much more than just make a noise. And I'm also, all the students that come into my practice to shadow from the high schools and the college here in our community, they're gonna get a copy of this book too. And I think that's just gonna start making some major, major changes. So I want to thank you for what you do. And then I always end my podcast with giving my speaker the floor one more time in case there was something I missed. So the floor is yours.
Thank you. First and foremost, I am extremely grateful. If you're listening out there, I just want you to know I love this profession. I know you do too, and I hope that you want to have it grow. And there's something that has been said that someone says, well, how do I know the book is any good? And I smile and I say, well, it takes a lot to get an Amazon #1 bestseller in 4 categories. It takes even more to get that next sticker, which is the #1 bestseller on Barnes and Nobles in 2 categories. But here, listen, we're #2 in medicine and nursing. So take a big breath. Surprise yourself by reading the book because I think you'll enjoy it. And then think about what you could do with the book by buying and investing that 10 book bundle buy when you go to f4cp.org/adjusted reality. You use the 50% off code and you're going to get more books, because I know that the more they know, the better our patients will be able to explain it to others. And that's a beautiful thing that will carry on.
Well, thank you for everything you've done and your foundation and the hours and hours and hours you put in. I always say there's 10% of chiropractors doing 100% of the work behind the scenes, so the other 90% can practice every day. So thank you for being part of that 10%. And we're going to go ahead and wrap this up today. So I'm going to put a link to the foundation so you can find that easy. If you didn't catch it the first time, it's not that hard of a website, I don't think, but I'll put a link on here regardless. And thank you for joining us. Thank you for everything. And if you like this podcast, please like and subscribe and share it. And we'll come back to you again in a couple weeks. Thank you.